So my piece is about a tree which recovers from a storm, or you can also say how does this tree regain strength after the storm. I was inspired by trees, how they move in the wind. So before I created my solo, I asked myself this question: how does he recover? For me, the word patchwork refers to this patchwork blanket. I always have this strong image in my mind of this blanket who has several patches sewed together. So this is my inspiration for, or this is what I understand for patchwork. So in my choreographic process, I also used a similar approach to, like, first of all, the music is in the widest sense a patchwork because I patch different musics together, and also how I choreographed. I had 4 different sections and I patched them together. Also in like one section there is more of like a floor work technique involved, or in another section I use more voguing elements. So this is also creating a patchwork. Music is for me very often the starting point as an inspiration. If I listen to music, I suddenly get images in my head of like, oh, I can do this or I can do that. So I have like 4 or 5 different musics which I use in my piece. The first one I found it from a movie, and the track itself is called Waldesrauschen, which also refers a bit to trees. Or I have another track, it's from it's a very interesting track. The track is from Bartholomeus Traubeck, and it's called Fraximus. It's the Latin word for ash, a specific tree. And what he did is he used the cuts from the tree, and they have different rings, and then they transferred this into a vinyl plate, and then they made piano music out of it. So this is one of my most inspiring musics because it's the most connected to nature. In my piece there will be a chair on stage which I will use in the beginning. It had to do that I started my creation process a bit at home, sitting on a chair and doing a lot of arm movements, and I couldn't get away from this thought of being on a chair. It also refers a bit more to the stationary of a tree because he actually cannot move, but since it's a dance piece I will also move more than an actual tree. So I decided for a wooden chair to have this reflection of the tree. My choice of costume was very specific. I chose brown pants, which are like referring a bit to the stem of a tree, and the upper body is I wear like a tank top, which is more green, which refers to the leaves or the crown of the tree. It's also connected to the language which my body uses, or like how my body is, because my lower body is quite stiff, so which also fits to a tree's stem, because it's also quite hard and not really movable. But then, whereas the upper body is connected to the crown of the tree, the branches and the leaves, since I have a very high articulation in my upper body, and this is how I chose the costume to fit to my piece. This question was one of the most difficult ones because I didn't ask myself this before. But if I think about it, I wanted the audience feel for sure like calm, and that they can take the message home, which is no matter what happens to you or to things, there is always a cycle, and the energy can get recycled, and you shouldn't be worried about things which happened at the moment, because time heals wounds and let new things grow. So I just want to have the audience has a good and calm feeling watching my piece.